Right, I am back, and we're going to refit our third battleship of the night. This one's going to be a Chinese ship, and we have this Yisheng, and we're going to build this one in a totally different way because this is kind of a weird design. So if we look at this ship, it's set for 3 gun turrets, which is kind of cool, but these things are really forward heavy because you have the engines up here and then not much going on over there. I'm not like a big fan of these. In the smaller versions of the ship, this tower here is kind of scrunched back. So we're going to refit this, and we're going to do something. We're going to make a ridiculous build. So we're going to strip everything down and do our technology. We want all this stuff. Hydraulic, get good armor. We don't care about any of that. We want anti-flood, citadel, reinforced bulkheads, minimal. We want maximum bulkheads and maximum drop, minimum beam. We're gonna start from here, okay? So ideally, I'd like to go 22 knots, but I don't think there's going to be enough room on here to do everything I want to do. And there wasn't enough room for the guns. We're going to make this one also a cruiser killer. We have to have at least one main gun. So we could do a 3-gun ship, but 3 9-inch guns seems kind of boring. So let's do something crazy. What if we cheesed out the geometry of the ship, and let's go put on a bunch of these Mark II 8-inch guns, and because of the weird way that the ship geometry is set, these are going to stick kind of through the walls of the ship. And maybe they'll turn, maybe they won't. It won't handle the weight, so let's go slow this thing down a bit. And then we're going to also put, because these will handle little turrets on top, I'm going to give this thing barbettes. And we're going to make the turrets bigger. Alright, like that. Now we could try to make these 8.9s, which this is the largest secondary gun we can put on here, and these are basically about the same as the 9-inch gun. And so, whoops. So let's compare these stats. So the 8.9-inch gun has a range of 15.5 kilometers. Oh wait, we want to outside, we'll go TNT. Alright, so we have 16 kilometers, that's good. And then the 9-inch gun has a range of 19 kilometers. Not quite as good, but almost. This one does 494 damage, and this one does 473, so they're almost as good. Unfortunately, we can't really stack up any more. I wish we could make this into a cruiser, not have this 9-inch gun, but we're obligated to have at least one 9-inch gun. We have to have at least a funnel. We have to have a main tower. And we have to have a rear tower. We'll go with a small rear tower. And we're overweight. Oh, we need to have rangefinder, go with radio. So we may not be able to do all this because this is going to be, and I don't want to go any slower. I mean, I could go 18 knots, but that's a little slower than I'd like it to be. We really need our ships to be at least 20 knots. I really want to be 21. So this is one option for what we could do, where we could just have a whole plethora of ridiculous cannons. It's got a lot of fore and aft belt. Let's drop some of this down. We can shed a little bit of weight on the armor, it looks like. And oh, he's got, so actually we're aft weight heavy right now. Now we could go with our low flash fire chance. We could go picric acid. That makes it kind of a high flash fire chance. I'm kind of thinking we just stick with the TNT. And now this would munch cruisers. This would just munch cruisers with the, because they usually have about a 4 or 5 inch plus 50 armor Bane belt with a plus 50% right now. Or we could go capped, and this will munch. This will actually hurt a lot of things. This is a 15 kilometer high explosive, 17 kilometer armor piercing with this guy here. So that's not bad. Now we're not going to bother with any barbettes or anything like that. I mean, we could do some casemate guns rather. We could have a shitload of casemate guns, but this is going to add a lot. Not as much weight as I thought. So we're going to do a compare and contrast. We're going to have a 2-inch. We're going to have a 3-inch. Oh, we can't put the 3-inch there, can we? No, we can't. We can put 3-inch down there. We might as well go all 2-inch and just keep it consistent. Now this gives me a lot of forward weight offset, which I don't really want. We can make the guns bigger and have these things have a heck of a range. And this would be just a lot of broadside for just knocking out small ships. The problem is that this makes us really forward heavy. Not the end of the world. We could add some aft belt, but that takes a lot of aft belt. And I don't know if I really want to mess with all that. So I kind of think, what I'm kind of thinking is not have all these casemate guns, just because of the weight offset. It's just a little bit much. And we do have these. 5% accuracy at 5,000 meters. I mean, these are really accurate also. I mean, these would be nice for just shredding things. They don't have as good of a field of fire as these turrets. I mean, turrets are just nice. Now, the other thing we could do, if we want to take all these off... oh, that lowers our forward weight offset by quite a bit. We could also have some of these little 2.9s right here along the side. We could probably fit 4 of these, actually. So you're going to do that. And we got to go around to this other side. Yeah, so we could do it like this. We could squeeze more in. So let's. I mean, these back guns. No, so these back guns are fine like that. But then right here. do that. Whoops, I messed up. Does that line up? That looks pretty good. I mean, I could try to squeeze in... I could squeeze in a bunch like that. I'm kind of thinking maybe... I mean... This would have a lot of broadside potential. Maybe I only put in... Well, that doesn't really help the field of fire much, does it? So, I mean, we could do 4 sets of guns. Or we could try to do a 5th set of gun. So maybe having the extra gun isn't such a good idea. I think what we're going to do... Let's go take these off real quick. Now what about... We can't fit any of those. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do... We could also just do 3 sets of guns and have pretty good firing arcs. And that might be the most practical, is just have 3 guns with good firing arcs. Not quite as sexy as having 4 guns, but maybe more useful. I'd put a gun here, but we've already got a bunch. It would be nice to have some more rear weight offset, but I don't... You know, we could put this here, but then it restricts... It's probably going to restrict this. Yeah, it restricts that. And having this have a better field of fire is more important than the extra gun. So we could do something like this. Now, if we take off these... I mean, having these extra guns here is nice, but it's a lot of forward weight offset. We could take these off. Now we've got an aft weight offset. Can we make the ship go any faster? We go 20.5. We've got a lot of light cruisers going 20.5. And we could... And instead of a big funnel, you do a medium funnel. Let's go do a little bit of math here. So 224 divided by 10 is 22.4. And then 184 divided by 8, we use the calculator, is 23. So the medium funnels are a little bit more efficient. So what we could try doing is we could go with 2 medium funnels. Gives us plenty of funnel capacity. We don't have these down here. We've got these extra guns here, which isn't bad. Can I shift you back a little bit? No, it won't let me. And if I do a big dual funnel, that's no good. So we want these medium funnels. So that's as good as we can get there. This isn't going scooching any backwards. We could try... This gun turret has to at least be there. So that's kind of our minimum, but it's balanced now, and that's not bad. That's not bad at all for a stupid ship. Now, most likely these gun turrets are going to turn, even though it doesn't look like they should. It's just a stupid, glitchy, weird design. But most likely this will work. I think the 20.5 is as good as we're getting. And 20.5 keeps up with our current light cruisers. And we can always add more speed later when we get the turbine engines or geared turbine engines. So, not bad. It's got a good range, even though we have minimum range. And we don't have a lot of tonnage left to put stuff on. We could drop the superstructure a little bit. This thing's actually pretty well armored. I'd like to have more... I'd like to have better barbettes. But I think this is about all we're getting. There's a lot of top armor on the guns. Let's add some... Let's adjust the armor tonnage here a little bit. There's a lot of top armor on these guns. We probably don't need it to be that high. We could probably shave a little bit, because we're mostly going to be going after cruisers. So we could do something like that. And that gives us a little bit more armor for 11 inches, as much of our belt as we're going to get. We try going 5 inches on the deck. I'd like to have... What I really want to have is I really want to have more front and back armor. So right now we're just playing with armor values. 3.5... 3.5... Whoops. There we go. Might even be able to go 4. Alright, so that's pretty good. We have this weight offset problem now. I can try to... probably the easiest thing to do would be just to take this middle gun. And shift it forward a little bit like that. That fixes the weight offset problem. There we go. I think that looks cooler like this. So that fixes the weight offset problem. We've got good superstructure. Our inner deck is actually fantastic. Probably don't need this much inner deck. We could probably go like 1 inch of deck, of inner deck, and 5 inches of main deck. Try and balance it a little bit more. But this is pretty good. What else can we tweak out here? The casemate armor. These guys really aren't going to be getting hit from the top. I mean, they could, but probably not. Now the turrets might. So we'll beef that up a little bit.
Yeah, they would.
There we go. There you go, perfectly balanced. It's fast enough to keep up with the light cruisers at 20.5 knots. And it's a cruiser killer. And it's a ridiculous ship with a whole plethora of anti-cruiser weapons. And I think the TNT is the right choice on this. This will be kind of our ridiculous weird build. But it's a Chinese ship, so why not? There we go. We'll go ahead and save this, and so that's going to be our third making battleships. 3 different ways to make abomination battleships out of captured enemy ships. So I hope everybody likes it, and I will maybe make some other videos as well for other smaller ships, and thank you.